Can we all stand up together, please, all of us? Because health is wealth for us. So we thank you, sir, because of that contribution more than everything else. Thank you so much. Please be seated. He is committed to advancing research and innovation. Dr. Desai supports universities in establishing research centers, centers of excellence, and incubation ecosystems. As a mentor to deep tech startups, he focuses on strengthening founders' strategic thinking, which is very vital because it's problem solving, ensuring it's backed by scientific and technical validation. I'm sure sir will agree to it, how important it is, especially in a very, very democratic country like India. And he has guided their commercialization pathways, which is very vital in connecting them to the right innovation and industry ecosystem. He serves as an independent director on the board of a publicly listed electronics system design and manufacturing company. And finally, we come to the very, very important part, which should have been said in the beginning, because normally when we start a speech, this will not be listened to. I always tell my students, what you do in interaction is not important, what you conclude is very, very vital. So the concluding part is he holds a PhD in computer science and engineering and completed postdoctoral research in symbolic data analysis and neural networks at Dauphine University, Paris, France. Sir, comment allez-vous? And we are very, very happy to have you with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for the comprehensive introduction. When I come to the highlight of today's ceremony, it's a privilege to have with us Dr. Pradeep P. Desai, sir. Welcome once again, sir. I invite Dr. Pradeep, sir, to deliver the inaugural address.
In group it is there. Yeah. Is it possible that you can share the screen to the Google Meet people? It is sharing. It is sharing. Yes, the screen is sharing from starting. The screen is sharing. This is sharing. Yes, to the Google Meet people. Go to the open Google Meet. It is sharing. It is sharing. They cannot see the YouTube thing right now. Yeah. What is StreamYard? Where is it? Yeah, it is there. It is there. StreamYard.
Don't realize that
Maximize it.
put something.
Yeah, here.
Isn't something there? Is it streaming on?
Yeah, it's streaming on YouTube.
ఇది అయిపోతాను పోతాం.
Just over 5 minutes and tea is ready.
Just
Allow refreshment.
So, good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
While they're trying to set the presentation, I was just sitting and wondering, all this thoughts came in my mind. The amount of effort that goes into having such a conference and the people behind it. There are few people who are the face of it, but there's so many more people behind it who are doing this kind of work. Many times they are not, in the limelight, they're not appreciated. But the point is, when we have these kind of events, and all of your audience, students in particular, need to recognize that the amount of effort goes to help you to kind of maneuver your own career or your own knowledge has to be appreciated. Now, why am I saying this is, I don't allow this place to be full, right? The management, the principal, Professor Krishna Chandra, they've been in touch with me for some time. They made a huge effort to get me here, right? But sometimes it is a little disheartening for me to see that after so much effort and so many papers written, what is the real outcome of all this, and why is it that we find it so difficult that an auditorium doesn't get filled up, right? Because when I was in my student days, I remember whenever we had somebody coming to talk, the whole place used to be full. We used to go forward to listen to somebody from the industry, but somehow that is missing. This is just a thought. While these presentations, they're trying to set it right. So that just was reflecting on sitting there and wondering what really is happening. And this is something that we need to understand. Is there a huge gap? Is there a value in doing these things? Or what is it? Right? So, Principal Madam and the management and all the senior leaders have to think about it. Which also comes to a point that our old way of doing things, is it anymore making sense or not? It's also a reflection for all of us to understand the new generation and us. Are we aligning, or there's a huge gap somewhere? Yeah. So this is what sometimes I wonder what happens. Yeah. So while they, do you have any questions for me? Any of you can ask me questions because that is a better way to interact rather than I go. In the meanwhile, until they set it up, do you have any questions for me?
Sir, I will start, sir. I will
Please,
start, sir.
please.
Sir, now everybody talks about, I'm Suresh, I'm from the department.
Just give him take this mic so that everybody listens to. Let's make use of this time.
It's always a question answers, that will be actually a very interesting session.
Yeah.
We hear from the company which is Thalesa Innovations.
Yes.
All AI in the field of medicals, diagnostics and cure. How do you feel how the situation will be, say, after this? AI was not much talked about, say, 3 years back. See, earlier it was all computing and it was all used for simple usage. And now things are getting complicated, and if thinking and innovations also can be done automated, etc.
Yeah.
How things will be, say, after 5 years? Everything will be towards STEM only. Do you feel that that will be the situation?
Everything towards what?
STEM, basically, say science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Yes.
See, now everybody is actually flowing towards it,
Yeah.
and now all engineering seats are all full. See, everybody would like to be in the computer science and AI, etc. AI, which was used to be a part of earlier, what do you call, computer telecommunications. It used to be there used to be one communication, computer science and telecommunications. Today it has been branched out into 4 or 5. Say AI is separate and other communication. It has all become much more specialized. A part has become a highly specialized group. So how things will be, say, after 5 years?
Yeah, how would it be after 5 years? Just finish this. I'll answer this question and then go back to my presentation. I have no great exact understanding of what it means after 5 years, but what I can tell you is why has AI picked up, right? Why if you understand the fundamental question, these kind of technologies did exist. In fact, my PhD was in AI way back in '94. So it is not something that it has suddenly come. The reason why it picked up is our ability to compute the hardware that we have has become very powerful. So when you have a technology, and there are many such technologies already in the pipeline, it takes its own time because it needs a platform, it needs a power behind to make that technology of any use. So as a concept, AI has been there, and of course it has evolved. And as we evolve technologies, as we make more and more compute and ability to store a lot of information, as it starts to grow, a lot of other applications will unleash. Now, the question is, well, how many of us are following that trend? How many of us do we actually know what is happening? And it's very hard for general public to know this. So if I look at AI, there are different levels. The first level, of course, is to come up with new AI. That means you look at new math. You look at what is the core of AI? What kind of math is the foundation for AI? And then, of course, there is a part of the AI which you try to take that math and make it into something useful. And then you build applications on top of AI. Right? For example, ChatGPT, large language model is basically probability theory with a lot of AI concept. But now that you have these kind of NVIDIA processors which can compute so fast, you are able to come up with very good answers. So what does it mean for normal people truly speaking, it is something that we are all aware, but jobs are going to get transformed. Like what Dr. Ashok was saying, that's kind of what will happen. It's not like, people will have no jobs, but people will have different kind of jobs. People will think about something else that can happen. So the whole technology landscape keeps changing because there are certain leaders who are leading it. Right? There are clearly countries, for example, US followed by China. They're all leading in certain areas. But what does it mean for us as a general public? There'll be a lot of applications of AI which you need to start learning and orient yourself towards it. You cannot say, no, I will still do the old ways. Those things cannot happen. So there will be transformation. At this point in time, it is going to be a lot of AI, and AI will again evolve, right? So it's going to be a continuous learning process, a continuous process of understanding the dynamics. But therefore, to a large extent, as us, all of us, have to be students all the time. There is no static. Everything will keep evolving. If you are not evolving, then you will lose out. So there's a very nice thing. If you lose jobs, you will lose jobs to somebody who knows AI, right? So this is the thing, right? You learn, know at least how to use it, or you lose your job to somebody who knows AI, and therefore you lose. It's not like AI will take away your job. So this is the kind of thought process. It is going to disrupt, for example, even the education sector. In fact, there's with all respect, due respect to all the faculty here, professors are going to become assistants, teaching assistants. Why? Because if you go on the net today, you can get literally any information, and the source of information is actually from very well-known, renowned professors. You can get a Stanford lecture on your computer today, right? And it's not like just one lecture. You can have a number of lectures on a particular topic taught by different experts. So the ability to learn, the ability to get information is so much today. But what does it mean? Is it important? It's not. Just because you have information doesn't make you anything. Gone are the days when you had the information and I didn't have the information, you were respected. So we went through that evolution of a teacher. A teacher was somebody who had a lot of knowledge, a lot of information. So just for that fact, you have to respect that person. But that day is not there anymore. Because the information I can get. So what are you going to do with the information is the key. What are you going to do with the information? Be it students, be it me, be it faculty. Today I can get any information, believe me. But what am I going to do? Like we wrote a lot of papers. We talked about 80 plus papers, and obviously they're good quality. What next? Okay, fine. What do we do with it? Is it going to be lying in a paper? After some days, everybody forgot it. One copy of it in the library. Nobody goes to the library today. So what is happening? And why are we so wondering why we are not getting job? It's because we have no idea what we are going to do with all this, including ChatGPT, including OpenAI. Not a single LLM, we talk about it, they have not made a single dime of money yet, in reference to how much they spent. Right? But they are hoping that all this information will improve the productivity, will improve coming up with better products, and their feeling is that in the future they will get money. Right? So it's a very tricky thing. So all that I tell people here is, all of you have to understand what am I going to do with all this information I have. Because it's not the age of information, it is about your ability to do something with information. And there is a lot of problems to solve. So can I solve some problems? Right? So let's go back to the topic of digital transformation in technology, business, and commerce, right? Very quickly, I don't want to make it like a classroom, but just to get a few fundamentals right. Digital transformation is fundamentally, at a very high level, if you look at it, is a set of data, and then this beautiful magical thing that has come up, which is called AI. You take the data and you mix it up with AI, and you create something else nice comes out of it, right? And obviously you want to automate it. So in that context, can you all hear me in the back? You can, right? Okay. So just to keep it very simplistic, digital transformation is all about data, AI, and automation, right? Because like I said, with data, what can you do? You can't do anything with data. Data is just information. It's numbers, it can be text, it can be pictures, but what can you do with it? So what people thought is, some smart person thought, let me put intelligence, let me say, if I have this data and this data, this is what can happen. So you brought in AI, right? I'm not dwelling into each one of these aspects. AI itself by itself is a big, huge animal. But I'll just tell you that AI is something that, I'm not even asking you to learn it, the math behind it, but at least be aware. With AI, a lot of things can happen. Okay. So for now, let's consider it's a magical thing. It's a box where if I put data, I can tell you, well, these are cancer. This person has TB. This fellow has retinal problem. Okay. So I'm not getting into that, but so data happens to be very important, because without data you can't do anything. You need an input, right? So data is needed, and now magically we have this tool called AI, and I put AI on it, and I get something very interesting. But I want to also improve further. I want to make this. If it is taking 10 days for me to come up with the result, or if I need 10 people to work on it, can I automate it? Can I not have done it in one day and with only one person? So that is where the automation comes in. Now, if you put all of these three together, you come to this beautiful word called transformation, which is in our case data and digital. Therefore, we call it digital transformation. Are you all with me?
Yes.
Just trying to make it very simple. No science, no this kind of complex stuff, right? So this is digital transformation. Why is it very important today? Because everything is going digital. Hardly a day will come and we will be having any currency note, any rupees or coins in our pocket. It's all going to be digital. So you don't really need these kind of physical things. Which also means that if this has to work truly, it has to be well connected, right? So when I say well connected, the data that has to be connected to every stakeholder. So if there is a student, now his data has to be connected with his fees, with his attendance, with his classes, with his exams, with his everything. So imagine now how everything is getting connected. So why do we do this? Is because physically I cannot meet this person or these students. They may be anywhere. And secondly, it makes it so easy for me because sitting in my desk, I can monitor this person, this student. And therefore, digital transformation makes it very interesting. So we are breaking what we call as a physical barrier. Going back, what am I trying to do is I truly don't need a physical boundaries. I don't actually need this room. I could have given this talk and all of you were sitting in your house and you could have listened to it. I would have even created the same environment through something called virtual reality. And you will imagine that you are all sitting in this conference room just like this. And you can also make it interactive. So this is where digital is going. So fundamentally, I'm trying to break away the physical constraints, right? So the minute I break away physical constraints, what really happens is I'm pervasive, right? In our philosophy, many of us must have heard, right? God is everywhere. Krishna is here, Krishna is there also. How does that happen? Because there is no concept of space. Space is constrained by a boundary, right? If I don't have the boundary, you will have no relative position. If I put you in a forest and tell you now come, you will not know which side to come because there is no reference point for you. So if you really start looking at it, we are trying to break the space and time barrier. The minute I start doing that, the whole way of working changes. So therefore, digital transformation is in a way like a very first step towards these kind of breaking of barriers of space and time. Right? So this is basically digital transformation. Now start imagining what and all we can do. Yeah, I just quickly told you that one of you can control it. So if you look at it, why is it important? So let me come down to ground. Let me come down to on the ground level because I actually took you to space. Let me come down to the ground. So why is it important? Because digital disruption is going to happen. So there is no concept of physical barriers. I can still have my team in the US as one single team. I can get my work done. It can be any country for that matter, right? So digital disruptions are going to happen. Secondly, this AI I was telling you, magic is going to change skills. For example, do I really need somebody to make notes for me? Do I actually need to write emails? So all those skills, including the ones that were quite creative, are getting disrupted because of this AI, especially with generative AI, right? So because of changing skills, digital transformation for us becomes very important. What is industry now? Coming to industry side of it, if you talk about manufacturing was all about productivity, efficiency, control, centralized control. And it's moving to something called Industry 4.0 to 5.0. Now, this is a very technical term. Just simply putting it, it's nothing but we're moving from technology to empathy. When we make a machine, when even medical devices, we have to be empathetic. That's a word which most of us don't know, I think. What does empathy mean? Do I have a feeling? I'm using this machine for a doctor is using on a patient. Is this machine made in a way that it helps the doctor, it empathizes with the doctor, it empathizes with the patient, or it's just a machine? Right? So in today's world, if you look at a vehicle also, your car, it's personalized. That means it has been a little bit empathetic to you. It understands that you don't have any reflexes anymore. Gone are those fancy days where you used to drive very, you claim that I'm the best driver, I can maneuver traffic in Bangalore. But with automated systems, cars, your skills are of no use. Why? Because the car is going to drive anyway. I don't know if you fly these international airlines, especially the Boeing and the Airbus A320s and the 767s. Actually, the pilot doesn't do anything. Truly speaking, everything is automated. It knows when to land, it knows when to go. It's all programmed. He's just sitting there to make sure that just in case something goes wrong, he can take over. So there's a manual control, he can do that. But truly, very little the pilot does today. So what skills are you going to show, right? Well, what is your skills? The machine is doing everything. What is your skills now? For example, today a surgeon is very scared because the robot can do such a great surgery with such precision that no humans can do it. Your hand actually shakes. When I keep my hand like this, you think it's not shaking. All of us. At a micro scale or even at a nano scale, it's like literally doing like this. At that scale. But you can't see it now because our eyes can't perceive that kind of sensitivity. But if I take it to a nanoscale or a microscale, I can see my hand vibrating. Now imagine you're a surgeon who is 65. You become a good surgeon only when after 20, 30 years of surgery. So at that age, you are about 55, 60. For sure, your hand is going to shake. You're a great surgeon. They say, wow, he's the best. But believe me, at the precision of a machine, your hand is shaking like this. The machine is not shaking like this. So the way it cuts, what we call as basically even non-invasive way of doing surgery, there's a cut, but it is so nanoscale, it's so small that even your eyes can't perceive it. Your doctor cannot do it. So what are you talking about your skills? What skills? Machine can do it like 100 times better than you. So things like this are going to make changes, and therefore the question is what happened. His question was like, what will happen in the future? This is what is going to happen. Like it or not, get prepared for it. So what does it mean to us as humans? As humans, we will have a lot of time. The government has to take care of us. They has to give us money because there is no need for people to work as in manual work. Right? It's a system of self-sufficient economics. When you talk about commerce and you talk about business, we will have generated the money so much that at some point you'll realize that time is much more valuable than money. Right now, for all of us, we think money is very important. But truly speaking, your time is so much more important than money that you're not able to recognize it because you're not in that space. Every second of yours is far more valued than money, whatever salary or whatever you're getting. So these kind of technologies will show you at a certain point in time what you were missing out and what you were running after, which is actually meaningless. Because the country also, with evolution, we will realize that time is more important than all what we are doing and all this stuff. So we will be doing better things. Now, how do I explain to you? It is not going to happen overnight. It will evolve. Do we work like our grandparents used to work? No. Today we have a robo cleaning our house. I mean, not at least many of in the US or some Western countries, you have robots, you have washing machines, you have food processors. You make chapatis, it automatically. Are we doing what our grandparents used to do? So this is exactly what technology does, right? So people are getting paranoid. What will happen? What will happen? But this is what will happen. But it happens so smoothly that you will not recognize it. In the last 20 years, the amount of transformation that has happened is that we are not recognizing it. The other day I was showing my son a cassette recorder, which, remember we used to get cassette tapes? Most of us, I'm sure the youngsters will not see it. He's saying, what is this? I said, do you know what this is? He says, what is this? It looks like some plastic with some tape on it. So this was how we used to listen movie songs. Right? There was something called Sony Walkman. We used to put it and then we used to walk and we used to think so great about ourselves. Right? So the point is, this is evolution and it's not very far. Some 20 years back. So this will really go faster. So this is what digital transformation is all about. Okay? Yeah. And then of course, the rest is fine. Next. Yeah. So as I speak today, these are the technologies. All your CA, BCA students, all technology students. These are the new technology areas, right? As we speak today, but these are all going to change. These words will not have any meaning 10 years from now. They will be all transformed into something very interesting. We will talk about bio-nano sensors. We will talk about various other things. Anyway, for now, for those we are living in today's world right now, these are the technologies that at least we should be aware of or we should get interested. Now, I was talking to Professor Krishna, who was bringing me here. He was telling me what areas should we focus on as technology. I would say that pick any one of these areas or combination of these areas as your PhD topic or research topic. It will last for another 10 years max. Maybe, yeah, 10 years. So it's good enough, so you can evolve after that. So, what else can I tell? So next, and like I said, right now, all of these words, all of this presentation has no value. Believe me, 3 years from now, none of these are obsolete. This whole presentation is obsolete. So all of you have to have this mindset that we learn on a continuous basis, right? Almost every 6 months we go through it. It's hard. I find it very hard because so much of change is happening in my space, right? It's very hard, but if you have to be with the trend, and then the question comes: is there a generation gap between us and the youngsters? Yes, there is. The way they learn, the way they're thinking is way different from way. That is because we are not keeping up, right? And I'm not saying they're great, but I'm saying that their ability to consume, their ability to exposure is far, far more than us. And they have a lot of time on hand. What else? What do they do? What do this student, what do they do beyond coming to classes? What else do they? They have no responsibilities, right? Other than studies. You have any other responsibilities? No. So obviously they are advantaged. Right? So if you want to match up with them or you want to be respected by them, you need to learn that lingo, you need to be a little bit with them. Otherwise you have this gap. So I heard people, I don't know if this happens in your college, that we have stopped ChatGPT, we have stopped students they should not go on ChatGPT or use this for assignment. But that's crazy. Truly, that's crazy. Don't do that. It's my personal feeling, and I'm not. Next time you may not call me. But what I tell is, let your students do it. But then you ask the question differently. Okay, use ChatGPT, use all the tools. Explain to me the logic. Like, okay, fine. What is your contribution? What is that you learned from it? What is that you added on top of it? Okay, you copied it. So there's an assignment, write a Python programming and something. You go to ChatGPT, it will give you a code. You take the code, it will work. Or you write an article on blockchain. Go to ChatGPT, give me a nice article on blockchain, it will give you. Right. Now, but the question is, then you ask them, good. Now tell me, what is your contribution to it? What is that you added to it? And then evaluate the person on that. So create a process of thinking beyond what ChatGPT can do. Right? Because that game is a lost game. If anybody is trying to stop AI, anybody is going to stop this, that is not going to work. No matter what policy, government is trying to put policies, right? I know that government, for example, wants to do AI, but they keep talking about AI, but the government is not allowing it in full flow because it is going to impact. So while they say AI is good for the nation and all of that, it has put enough controls to make sure that it does not go beyond its speed. Because they don't know what to do with people. Right? We can as well close banks, truly speaking. With the current UPI system, you can literally stop a lot of stuff. But it will not. Because then what happens to all the people? There will be strike, there will be chaos. So, but it will happen. You can't stop it. So, next slide. Okay, this is just an application of digital transformation. In today's world, like I was telling you, I was trying to tell you that how do you break away from physical systems to visual abstract systems. Why? Because I can simulate this whole campus digitally. Right? For example, all the lights here and everything, I can actually control from a control room. So that means that I don't have to spend a lot of time and money doing this. So this world of having digital twins, in fact, in our space, we are trying to build we are attempting to build digital twins of humans, right? So if I build my own digital twin and my doctor will apply drugs on the digital twin and see what happens in the digital world, what side effects it will have, how fast can I recover, then only he will give it to me so that it does not affect me. So that's the kind of applications people are thinking about, right? So in every space, people are thinking about having these digital twins before we get into the physical world, in the real world, because it is much more expensive and catastrophic. If I give you a wrong medicine and something else happens, it's the worst thing that you can do as a doctor, right? Next slide. Yeah, so just hold on to this. I just want to spend 1 minute on it. This is another area that because of this whole digital transformation and because of the digital network that is there, as much as we have good people trying to do good things, there are equal number of bad people trying to do the wrong things, right? So while I talked all the positive good things, I talked about the plane which flies by wire, basically completely automated. There can be somebody sitting somewhere else and changing the parameters of the plane. If you ever meet a pilot, international, who's flying at about 33,000 feet, you just ask him, if any of you know, ask him what control you have. He'll tell you, I don't have any control. Why? All that I see is some numbers on the deck. I have no clue how high it is, how low it is, because there is no I can't figure it out. He just believes what comes on the screen. It says 46,000 feet, 34,000 feet, 20,000 feet. The 20,000 feet can be as well only 5,000 feet. We don't have the ability or the sensitivity to figure out what is the depth. So I sitting somewhere can hack and say, just before it lands, just let it go faster. It will hit the ground before the runway. That's it. So cyber security has become an extremely important area and will kind of be very closely associated. It's like a twin. With good person, there will be a person who's guarding you. Like, you see our politicians, 4 or 5 guys around them, like our Prime Minister. Why does he need that? That's like the security guys. He's a nice person. If you are a nice person, why do you need security? Ideally, you should not need, right? I'm a nice person. I have not done any crime. I'm good to everybody. But there are so many people around him. That means no matter how nice you are, no matter how good things you do, there is always somebody who is going to, want to do something crazy. And that's why cybersecurity, it becomes an extremely important area in the digital world and the digital transformation. You have to consider that as an important aspect. Next slide. Yes, this is again from a very technical point of view. These are the skills that one needs to have, right? I'm sure your MCA, BCA students will be aware of it. I'm not talking too much from a commerce point of view. You may need to know it from how to use this technology, how to use the applications. Please get aware of it. These are tools, right? You should use it. If I have a car and I have to travel, I should use the car. I should not start walking. I mean, this is ridiculous. So people still do that. No, to improve my health, I'll walk. Yeah, fine. For 10 kilometers, you can walk. But after it is 100 kilometers, you cannot walk 100 kilometers. You as well take a car. So all of you get used to, whatever you're doing, used to finding out what are the best tools for your work. Whether it is accounting, whether it is financial risk assessment, or whether it is for investments or education. I keep telling people just learn to use tools. I'm not saying you should build the tools. If you are interested in building tools, nothing like it, but it is a little bit complex area. Building a tool is very different from using a tool. It's like building a car versus driving a car. I love to drive a car, I want to drive a car, but I don't want to build a car. That needs a different level of competency, right? Next slide. Yeah, in the transformation world, especially business transformation, right? This is more general. What is happening? People are moving from products to platforms. Right? What does it mean? For example, Amazon is a good platform. So on the platform, you can sell whatever you want. Very brilliant idea, isn't it? Very simple, but it's a brilliant idea. He thought that if I can sell one book, then as well I can sell anything on my platform. Simple idea. So all of those who are thinking about becoming entrepreneurs who want to have your own business, always think about simple ideas. People like me who went into very complex things like trying to solve cancer problem just out of kicks and passion, it's not for everybody because there are too many of the simple ideas and so many simple problems to be solved. You can make good money out of it, but you have to be very sure that this is a problem that a lot of people want. So this is something that we need to solve, right? So Amazon today is a very big company. But it all started with in a garage trying to sell something on a platform which was selling books. But he had very good idea that if I can do this, then I can do for everything else. Google also does the same thing. You need to recognize, for example, if you're like an entrepreneur, you need to understand each one of these companies and where is their philosophy. Google only does things where there's a huge volume. Every product that they have is something to do with volume game. They will never pick a problem which is only for a few people. Not that they are not technically capable, but that's their philosophy. So Google search engine is something that everyone is using, right? Google Maps is something that all of you use. It's almost the de facto way. Everybody uses it. I always use it. In fact, if I don't have a map today, I find it very difficult, right? So what happened is there were simple problems. There's a problem. I don't know how to find this place. So how do we do it? Okay, now if I do it one time, I can do it for anybody else, everywhere else. So if you get it right the first time or after certain iterations, scaling up becomes very easy. Our country needs such solutions because our country has a huge problem of population. If I can solve one problem of reducing this dysentery in our country, a lot of people have this intestinal problem in our country because our food habits are crazy, right? We're not very good at what we eat, and therefore, most of us will have digestive problems. Okay, many of us will not talk about it, but most of us have it. So, if we can solve such problems, right? So that's what it is, and like I said, the last one is very interesting because we are getting into the hybrid model that is digital. Not even if it is not purely digital, it is going to be digital hybrid, right? So you will still need a teacher to come and teach, but you can do most of your teaching or learning process or learning methodology very digital. And therefore, your principal, I was again thinking, she was saying so much of work has been happening. We all of us are busy in so many meetings, assessments, this application to be filled, that application to be filled. I was just wondering, can we automate all of that and free away from it? Yes. So she's saying, no, it's can't. Right? So, no, there are constraints. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, whatever is in your control, just get rid of it using automation. Don't waste your time doing what you're doing, this much more. Assessment, I see students getting assessed, teachers are correcting, putting marks. Can't we find a better way to do it? I'm just thinking. Just, okay, next slide. Yeah. So even in business, all decisions are going to be very data driven. It's not going to be based on some subjective thinking. So of course, sometimes you don't have data, so then you have to bring in subjectiveness. But most of the things can be done data driven, right? Next. Yeah, this is again for people who want to be in the economic, like a different kind of commerce-based businesses, right? You talk about e-commerce, food delivery. These are very interesting businesses that from if you are from BCom or if you are from MBA, These are areas where you can improve the current process, the current system that we have, and also come up with some better ones. Right? Next slide. Yeah. Um, Again, even so, if you notice this whole presentation, you notice that AI is somewhere in the center. Everything is around it, right? So even if you talk about operations, right, just running your operations, you can bring a lot of AI. I'm not just talking about very solving technical problems using AI. Every aspect you can use AI, right? Now the question is, what is the cost of AI? As many times when we talk about AI, talk about ChatGPT, nobody tells you how much money is spent, right? You know how much of energy is taken by those servers, ChatGPT. If you ask a query, you are talking about a lot of energy that is consumed, and all of that energy goes as carbon footprints. That means it is affecting the environment, but nobody talks about that aspect. For me and you, we are just asking a query and you are getting results. Every time you ask a query, so much of carbon footprint is coming out. So these are some things where you can improve. Next slide. Yeah, I already talked about it. As a workforce, all of you are going to graduate, be included, to survive and not just retire. We can retire, can go back home and sleep and just relax, not a problem. But for those who don't want to do that, you have to be continuously upskilling. There's no way out. There's no way out. You have to upskill. Or you find a different skill, completely, which people love it. I don't know what it is, right? So, to dance or to do something and people get excited and we need to pay you money. So whatever be the thing, either you upskill or find a new skill. So or you retire, you have enough money that you have and you say, enough, I'm done with it. This lifetime is over. I'm closing my shutters and I'm fine. So as students, you have no choice. You have to work hard. Okay, this chat GPT is not going to help you. You may get some results. It's not going to get you a job. Okay, so this is very important. Next. Yeah, digital commerce, like I said, it's basically what happens in a digital commerce. You go there, you go on Amazon website, Amazon site, or any site. You search for something, you then buy it through the whole digital setup. You can compare, you can then buy it, and then you can get delivered. So the digital commerce fundamentally just these few things. Next slide. Yeah, I've already talked about UPI. Next slide. Right. Another very important aspect is as we buy things on the platform on digitally, how do you know what you're buying is of quality, is genuine? This is an area that people are also trying to work on, right? It's not like you after you buy and after you get home you realize that it is you're being deceived or you're being cheated. That should not happen. So how do you bring systems or how do you bring solutions to ensure that what you ask for is of good quality and getting what you are paid for, right? So this is another area in commerce. Next. Yeah, this also I talked about AR, VR in commerce. Here, of course, I don't know if I heard in West Side and all that, I have not been there, that you can stand in front of a machine or a screen and it can dress you up, right? So these are certain areas that you can, newer areas that you can see which dress looks good on you and then you can buy it. So these are some of the things using AR, VR for various applications. Next slide. Yeah, I talked about this. Next. Yeah, next. Yeah, we talked about this. Next. Yeah, I just want to spend a little bit time here because a lot of faculty is here. I was trying to tell you that please don't stop your students from not using any of the AI. Okay, let them use, but the assessment has to be a little differently. You ask them, okay, you used it, fair enough. What is your contribution? How can you make it better? Right? Because no way you can. I've noticed one thing with the youngsters. I do interact a lot with the youngsters. I realize that they are not like us. They are not going to listen to you anyway. Any which way, they're not going to listen to you. So the best way is that ask them things like, what more can you go? I know that you have done this, but what new things can you bring out? Right? I think that model helps. So get them from just knowing to doing. A lot of people know a lot, right? All of us know a lot of things, but how many of us we actually do it? Because the interesting part of doing is what you started will be not what you will end up with. Many times when we start something, we start with some intention and actually get out something totally different, which is better than what we started. I don't know how many of you have gone through that kind of thing in your life. At that point in time, you think that, oh, this is wrong. But if you have done it, then you realize that, oh, there's another interesting way to do something, or there's something more interesting happening here. Even for us as entrepreneurs, for example, in the investor community, right? When we are investing in another company, we actually ask the person, how many times did you fail? If the person says, I never failed, then we are very skeptical to invest. They say, I did well, I'm very great, I got this thing, I've done that thing. But nothing, no failure. That is concerning. You can only not fail if you're doing things that is so sure, right? If I ask you to go and eat pani puri outside, right? And if you don't eat, but you say my health is very good, my body is very strong, but you have never eaten pani puri. So for me, pani puri is one of those criteria to figure out how strong your body is to stand. Right? So you're not done that. So I wouldn't invest in you. I want to know like till where you can go down, and then I know once see this person has gone so badly down. After that, he has to come up only, right? So we invest many times in people who have gone so badly down because, believe me, there's a very nice saying: character is built from failures or hardship. You may be knowledgeable, you may be very smart, you might have got 100 out of 100. We call the word character, the ability to fight back, ability to have that kind of conviction comes only from the hardship you go. If you have gone through very hard life, character will automatically build. You don't have to teach morals and all that. You ask any students who have gone through it, if you do some kind of a survey, find out students who have gone through some very bad patches in their life. They'll be far more resilient, for example, than my son. He may be good knowing some subjects and all that, but he is nowhere close to, fighting the guy on the streets who has worked his way up, right? That's called character. And we would like to invest in characters, not in your knowledge. We invest in people, we invest in the character. So this is the important part, and this is what I think as faculty has to be imparted. So don't expect all students to do well. Let them fail because learning comes out of failure. Yeah, I think with that I will stop. I think that was my last slide. Next slide. Yeah, so this of course I told you that in today's world, your mind should be very digitally oriented, right? It has to be digital, right? Because it's not like because I'm saying it. It is because the world is like that, right? And there are some people who are driving it. That we call the Magnificent Seven, for example. Who are the Magnificent Seven today in the IT, in the technology space? Google, Amazon, like this, there are 7 of them. So they literally drive the whole AI landscape. Everybody is pretty much open AI. So there are 7 of them who are driving everything. Whether you like it or not, we have to follow them unless we become like a little bit like China. China is doing things which is very quietly, but they are actually doing far more things, but they are very quiet. But you can see the results, right? So when you are not, when you don't have that yourself, you may have to follow, and therefore we need to follow some of these things, and therefore digital first is the mindset that all of us should have. Next. Yeah, so the final slide is, like I said, the transformation is everywhere. Okay, and by far it is very digital. I mean, in all forms it is there, but obviously digital it is becoming more and more. Especially with another interesting thing I want to lead you is with the current government, the whole digital transformation was put on steroids, right? Literally, this kind of ability to bring UPI, Aadhaar, all these technology, inflections would not have happened with any government in the past. We saw it never happen. What happened in the last 15 years is mind-boggling, and that actually scares a lot of other countries. At this pace, if these guys are going, then it's going to be very difficult. We're going to lead at certain areas, and that is one purely because of the leadership that we have. So that's what I meant. This transformation is happening everywhere. As I speak, believe me, at every level it is happening. And it is the best part is it is happening from top down. It is the prime minister's prerogative to make sure everything is digital. Believe me, all of us who are paying taxes will have to pay more taxes. There's no way you can hide your money. No way you can hide your gold. I mean, that's the next thing that's going to happen. Because they need money to improve the country. They are very clear. They want to make it number 3 in GDP. They want to be number 10 in the world. They are very clear. Okay. So AI will reshape because AI will be like the magic. You know the magic, and you can do whatever you want. So they use that, and therefore for all of us, if we are aligned to this, we have a lot of opportunities. If you are not aligned to it, let's retire and relax at home. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your profound insights and thought-provoking address. Now it's time to felicitate our keynote speaker. No formal event is complete without acknowledging the efforts of those who contributed to its success. I invite Ms. Redwayne, Department of Commerce, to propose a vote of thanks.
Gratitude makes sense for our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. A very good morning to everyone present here. It's my honor and privilege to be delivering the Thanksgiving address to everyone present here. On my first note, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. Pradeep V. Desai, founder and CEO of Telset's Innovation Private Limited, for gracing this event with his esteemed presence. Your inspiring words and valuable insight will truly remain the guiding light for us. Thank you, sir. A sincere thanks to Srimati Ramadevi ma'am and for her constant support and encouragement in her absentia. I would also like to sincerely thank our CEOs, Sir S.V. Pramod Gowda and Shri S.V. Rajiv Gowda, sir, for their never-failing guidance and encouragement. Thank you, dear CEOs. Also, heartfelt thanks to Shri Peter Francis, sir, for his motivation and support. Thank you, sir, in absentia. A sincere thanks to our academic director, Professor Ashok, sir, whose presence and words added charm to the ceremony. Your encouragement and support is much needed for all of us in this institution. Thank you, sir. How would I miss an opportunity to thank our principal, Dr. Janet Mary Coates, ma'am, who is our biggest support and guide to each one of us here at EPCHE. Thank you, ma'am. I will also like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the head of departments for their constant support and encouragement. Thank you to your HODs. I would like to thank our event organizers who have rendered their endless support to make this event much successful and memorable one for each one of us at East Point College of Higher Education. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am, for expressing gratitude. With this, we formally conclude the inaugural ceremony of the National Conference. Thank you all for the presence and continuous support. I request everyone to assemble on the dais.
Stop here. Come forward.
Please come on. Please come on. Stop.
Thank you. Ladies and come. No, sir. You stood with us, no? Ma'am, come back, madam. Because the problem should be there. You're a tall man.
Can you come?
Can we?
Gautam. Gautam. Come here.
I invite Dr. Gopalakrishnan sir to give details about the sessions.
Okay, please remember, please listen all of you. The people who are going to present in technical session 1 from 11:15 to 1 o'clock, computer applications. This will be happening in classroom number SF8008. Dr. Manimoli Madam will be there as the session chair. Jairam Hall, all the virtual sessions will be happening here in this hall. For that, Dr. Vakula Devi Madam will be available here. Then for the session, technical session 2 and technical session 3, Dr. Manimoli Madam will be available in classroom number FSF 008, that is in higher education block 008. All the people who are going to present in technical session 2, technical track 2, management and commerce will be happening in
Computer applications department.
FSF 008.
Computer applications department, please come.
Two tracks will be happening
Computer
in
applications
EPCHE
department.
block, FSF 009 and 10. One will be happening here. 008 will be happening for computer applications.
I need your help. Can I have one photo?
शांति में नहीं खड़ा हो गया शांति में नहीं खड़ा हो गया
Sir, 1 minute, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Kumar sir, they are in registration desk. Sir, everybody on registration desk.
Kalyan, sir.
Hello again. Okay.
Sir, I just want to take it, sir. Just 2 minutes. Department will later.
Let's discuss for IT. Tea and snacks is served outside.
Sachin, come in. Manish, shall we?
My audience are my students.
This is only for present and published. This is Ma'am, Shruti and Bhavana, please. Where they are? Sir, in the publication, only proceedings, those are only for presentation, appearing for presentation. You should give us proceedings. By the copy. This is one of the publication. Present for one proceedings. Sir, virtual photo on it.
Okay, okay. Say, I'm say.
लाइव आप जिसना जूम मीटिंग जूम मीटिंग आ जाएगा
Gautam sir. Gautam. Live streaming.
For now,
For
now, we will be starting it again. Presentation would start.
ना होगा
Yes. See, it is anyways live streaming. Yes. Please.
अच्छा अब ಮಾಡೋದಾ
For now, pause it. We can pause it.
pause it no pause it
आप चलता
आप चाहिए don't pause schedule ఉంటుంది చూడు
బాగా అవుతుంది మేడం కూడా చేస్తాను
తిరిగా వాళ్ళకి ఫోన్ చేస్తుంది అది
ఎందుకు ఏముంది
ఇదేనా దీనికి పోతుందా
ఆప్షన్ ఉండాలి అది వీడియో అది
చూడాలి ఈతో ఏం లేదా
చూస్తున్నాడా
నేనే
ఇది ఆప్షన్ ఎటు ఉంది అది చేస్తా ఉండ తీసి चलो
These are personal. You can check each of the systems.